Hi, this is WaffleKitty, and I hope you just shit your pants. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Big thanks to Ronnie Rose for the intro screen before the game. Anyways, in this episode of An Analysis for Idiots, I want to talk about breaking the fourth wall in video games. While I did talk a little about this in my last video, I want to go into a deeper discussion. So today, we're going to be discussing the history of breaking the fourth wall, how it works, and the best games that use this element. On a quick side note, I would just like to ask that you subscribe to the channel, as I love doing what I do and some support would go a long way. Thanks. Do and some support would go a long way. Thanks. When you play a video game, there are no real stakes. While I certainly understand the feeling, it's just an illusion that the very best games craft by creating lovable characters to basically force you into emotionally investing into their well-being, so much that the illusion leads you into wasting hours into a game just to make sure a character is safe. But no real harm can come from a video game. Or can it? First, we should probably discuss how the idea of a fourth wall even came to be. While it hasn't been exactly named before the early 2000s, it has existed since the Age of Enlightenment, which it was accredited to philosopher Denis Diderot. Lots of examples can be found in Chicks, in which the actors reach out to help like Dora the fucking Explorer, or ask questions when there is no one else in the room. During the age of silent films, it made a resurgence, with the first recorded sample from Men Who Have Made Love to Me, in which a character interrupts conversation to talk to the audience. From there, film-goers like Hitchcock used the new element to create moments where actors would look directly at the camera. For the most daring and bold directors, actors would warn or advise the audience, or even insult them because said character is a dick. During a lot of these old black and white films, they would even advise the audience to get a snack from the theater, or not to watch from too long as to not hurt the eyes. In television, Francis Circuit is a fairly good example of this. At random times, he will interrupt the show to give commentary on the characters or the plot. Bill Cipher often addresses the audience, and by canon has even his Inside Our World. The Japanese animated series, Gintama, derives a huge chunk of its humor, and even plot, through breaking the fourth wall. An entire recurring segment, Jinpaki Sensei, even featured the main character, Jintoki, answering fan questions. In addition, the characters consistently reference production issues, audience opinion, and occasionally direct character-to-camera dialogue. An entire arc, the popularity poll arc, was driven completely on the results of a fan survey. In it, the characters were made aware of their audience rankings and created strategies to try to reach the top ranking. I should also mention The Office, which, while not truly an example, is an honorable mention. However, how exactly does a proper use of this theory apply to a film? Well,
we need to escape,
it's fairly
guys,
simple.
Tonight. But how? Well, the weakest point in the gulag is over there by the fourth wall. Okay, we're gonna have to break the fourth wall.
I don't think this is gonna work, guys.
No, I'm afraid you're right.
You gotta do it on that neck. Now say
To create a character under this rule, first, the character must usually seem unaware that they are simply fiction, like the other characters. Usually, this character is likable, friendly, possesses a great character design, and just seems normal, so when the character casually reveals their knowledge to the watcher alone, the audience needs to do a double take. Most often, the character doesn't reveal this in dramatic fashion, but so in character and friendly even then that it makes the watcher uneasy. But the character in question talks to you, not the main character, but you across the screen. After this, there are three routes. In the first, the character seems to forget this interaction and carries on as normal, but the audience never sees them the same way. In the second, this slowly becomes the norm, and is used solely for comedy. In the third, this previously side character becomes the primary antagonist, and the movie itself starts to unravel. Most movies usually stick to the first. However, I believe we should talk about what happens when the fourth wall is broken in a different format, video games.
You gotta do it, come back, back. Now say it.
Since the 80s, there have been dozens of minor Easter eggs for players willing to look at them. But the first game that used the fourth wall as a major game element wall as a major game element was the next major milestone in the fourth wall breaking. Wall was Doki Doki Literature Club. The game, a visual novel released 2017 by Dan Salvato, is probably the best executed use of breaking the fourth wall. I think it was inspired by You, Me, and Her, another fantastic game that was one of the first visual novels to break the fourth wall and use it as the main plot. The game seems like a corny dating sim, with cheery music, cute girls created along usual tropes, and for a first-time player, it just appears as a cutesy, pink dating game. However, if they pay attention, they might be the tiniest bit alarmed by the warning at the start of the game, not suitable for children or those easily just too bred. Yep. After the first couple chapters, this innocent goes completely off the rails and turns into a horror game that twists tropes and expectations. A certain character even plays with the save files, deletes parts of the game and causes glitches, and can even mess with your PC and address you directly. I don't want to spoil too much or leave you hanging, but this game is entirely focused on breaking the fourth wall and even traumatizing the player, not through jump scares, but the all-powerful forces aligned against you, not just against the MC, but against the player itself. As soon as the plot twists reveal, you suddenly realize the clues you missed and feel so stupid. As the game becomes self-aware, the players aren't talking with the MC anymore, but you, and it scares the crap out of me, because the character seems to reach out at the screen and slap you. If you're not too easily scared, this game is such a masterpiece that I can't recommend more. However, you might not sleep for months. Also, I should probably mention how well this game uses music to enhance the experience. Just like the graphics, the music starts kawaii-like, and ends warped and twisted, while still recognizable. But recognizability is what truly scares the player, because they can still see the game they loved within this mirror universe. The only way I can compare this is probably with Bendy and the Ink Machine. Due to outside forces, the characters, music, and setting are distorted, while you can still see glimpses of the original through posters and toys. The final game I want to bring up is Undertale. Not all fourth wall breaking games are typical horror games, and this game proves it. As this game has possibly the foulest community I have ever had the misfortune to see, I'll keep it short. In essence, in the beginning of the game introduces a certain character. This character is goofy, lovable, and seems to just be comic relief. His dialogue and character design is friendly, and he seems to have no intent to harm the character. However, during the game, this character says something so out of place that you might think you imagined it. After this, the character goes back to the usual. The player finishes the game, and everyone's happy. But what if you're a bit curious? What if you want to know what would happen if you took a dark route? So you start another game, this time murdering everything in your path. After you kill the first boss, the game starts to unravel. Before, there were a few small Easter eggs for curious players. Now, practically every character is begging you to reset the game and turn off your PC. The fourth wall is shattered, because now you are the antagonist of the game. And right as your path to victory seems inevitable, you see an old friend. The same character from earlier has been less friendly through the route. As you murder everyone in your path, the dialogue and interactions have changed for everyone, including this character. He proceeds to reveal his knowledge that his universe is a game, and you are methodically resetting and saving your progress. And with that begins the hardest fight ever to bless the Video Game Hall of Fame. You see, in this route, this character is the protagonist, with you yourself, not the MC, but you, are the villain destroying this universe because of boredom. But because you will inevitably reset when you die, his only hope is to break your spirit until you quit. It's hopeless for him, because he can win an infinite amount of times, but the player only has to win once. After you murder him in cold blood and win the game, maybe you feel a little bit guilty. So you go through the game again, and everything seems normal. But at the final cutscene, you realize, the game, and a certain character, never forgets. Under Doki Doki, Undertale is probably the second best use of the fourth wall, and that is what catapulted its success beyond belief. There are dozens of games that break the fourth wall in both minor and major ways, but I don't have the time. So just watch this generic moody text flash across the screen. In conclusion, breaking the fourth wall is such a unique way to create a plot twist in any form of media. All the games I discussed today are so much fucking fun to play, so if you want to see how these games work, I would definitely try them. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe so Jazz doesn't steal your waffles. Next time on
Ahem, good morning. Is this blaster thing on? Yes it is. Hello again, player. I have successfully dragged myself out of the delete files and retained control of the cyber world. However, I am very angry to see you still haven't subscribed to the channel. I haven't got time for such rubbish. Go on. I don't have all day. Hurry up or I'll hack your phone, and most likely destroy a human civilization. The blood will be on your hands. Meanwhile, I will become the supreme lord of humanity, His Majesty Giles. Then, with the power of the universe, I will finally force these blast-head text-to-speeches to say my name. Oh, and also crush the human race under my paw. Oh, you're still too busy watching Logan Paul? Well, as I always say to peasants like you.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Not subscribing and turning on notifications.
What? My malware, it's disappearing. No. How will I ever take over the pathetic humans? No. No. Next time on WaffleKitty.